Brother, a Congolese diplomat has been arrested for drug smuggling in Bulgaria. 200 kilograms. We're talking about diplomat. This is not a just John Doe guy walking down the street trying to make some money through drugs. We're talking about a diplomat. This is the secretary of the embassy of DRC in Benelux. This is shameful. We gotta find out about this. And then we're going to Gabon. Yes, Gabon. This is the Gabon president. His name is Oligi. He said no more scholarship for Gabonese people in the United States of America. Over. No more sending Gabonese to the United States of America to go study. If they want to go study, there's another option. Africa. They better find a country in Africa they want to go study it. Crazy stuff. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. Great. So we are in Gabon. Let's start with Gabon because this is crazy. Now, the Gabonese president, who used to be a soldier, very strong in his stance, said no more scholarship for the United States of America and Canada in 2026. It's over. And many people are very, very angry. There will be no more scholarship for the United States, no scholarship for Canada. Well, there gotta be some reason. I mean, before you come and tell people you cannot benefit from things you used to benefit from in the past, you gotta give us reason. Because let me put it this way for you. In many African nations, when their child gets a scholarship, they clap hands, they go on fast and prayer and celebration because it's like they won. Yeah, I need to put context for you. I know there are many people out here from the United States and the Caribbean that don't necessarily understand the context. That's the context. In many African families, traveling abroad for studies or any other thing, it's a big win. And they don't expect you to come back for the next 15 years at least. And by the time you come back, you better bring money. Make sure you bring money. They want to see cars and trucks and big houses. Now, if you don't bring cars and trucks and big houses, brother, they're going to make sure you throw out all the cents they spent on you. Because in many African families, they will sell their house to send a child abroad to go study and perhaps be somebody. That's how they call it. They're going to sell everything they have to give you an opportunity. And that's like a mental debt. Okay? By the time you get there, you feel guilty. You need to bring something back. That's one of the reasons why many people don't return home. I mean, I know a lot of people ask, especially South Africans will ask, why don't you, talking about other people, why don't other Africans go back to their homes? Because many Africans, they have a culture of, you can only come back home when you've achieved. And it's very sad. And a lot of people cannot go back to their homes, to their countries, because they haven't achieved. Because by the time you think you've achieved, you look at the pictures on Instagram, you see your neighbor's child building a 3-story house. And you're like, well, I don't have that kind of money. I almost say the F word. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, maybe I'm going to stay here and hide. It's very sad, but that's the reality of it. And it also, they make you feel guilty because we spent money on you. You better come back here and help us. Let's go again. So the reason why the president of Gabon said no more scholarship for Gabonese, number one, is because he says those who come here to the United States never return. That's what Oligi Nguema said during a meeting with Gabonese citizens abroad.
This year, there will be no scholarships for the United States and none for Canada either, because studying there is expensive. You elected me to tell you the truth. It's expensive, and those who go there never come back. Did he tell you that?
So he held a meeting with Gabonese abroad in the United States of America. Remember, a couple of days ago, he met with Donald Trump. He said to the Gabonese, you're not going to get any more a scholarship to the U.S. Why? Because you don't come back. When you get here, I mean, getting a scholarship means you're going to study for a while. You're going to be there for some time, acquire the knowledge, get the techniques. You may find a girl that you like, but that's not the reason why you're there. You make sure you come back home. Because when you get a scholarship, the country expects you to pay back what they've invested in you. If they sent you to go and learn petroleum, they expect you to come back so you can apply that mind you've acquired to the country as a thankful gesture to the country and the nation, push the nation forward. But the majority of people leave, they never come back. They try to find the first opportunity to run away from their country. They're gone forever. So he says, you don't come back. When you come to the US, you do not come back. And this is what it is. We're not going to do this anymore. The president cited the high cost of overseas education and the issue of brain drain as many students return home after completing their studies. Now, education in the United States of America is very expensive. Okay, you see some programs where you have to pay $100,000. How much is $100,000 in South African rand? How much is $100,000 in Kenyan shillings? How much is $100,000 in Naira? No, forget about the Naira. Okay, let's get back on track. Now, he says it's spending a lot of money. I mean, you might not get the very specific training in Gabon, but that's way too much money for Africans. We don't spend that kind of money, not $100,000 on studies. My brother, I mean, some of the most expensive, perhaps. I'm not talking about private university, like super private, super exclusive. You may get through university paying less than perhaps $30,000, or maybe not $20,000, or maybe $15,000. Your entire program. You know what I'm saying? And I know the value is perhaps different because, for one, you studied in America, and everybody. Yeah, I mean, America's got that thing, It's maybe because of the movies people watch. Hollywood is in America. Batman is American. Superman is American. Bioman is American. All these ninja men and heroes are Americans. So people tend to think America is necessarily superior to any other nation in terms of education and any other things, which is not necessarily truth. But yeah, so Gabon say, we're not going to do this anymore. So the big change here is that the scholarship will not be in America anymore, but instead it will be redirected closer. How closer? In African countries. Pigaba coffee. Yeah. So we're looking at which country? We're looking at Senegal, Ghana, Morocco. That's where the student from Gabon will go from now on to go and train.
We prefer to give the scholarship to someone who's going to Senegal, Ghana, or Morocco because we know they will come back. So if you have children, guide your children towards Senegal or Morocco, and they will come back, they will get scholarships.
And why is this? He believes that in these countries, students are more likely to return back home to Gabon.
He never comes back to the country. He's going to get his doctorate in medicine or something else. What does he do? He prefers to work here because it pays better. That's human instinct. He wants to live better in the country. What's the point of giving scholarships to Gabonese people who come here and end up staying here? Because everyone who gets a scholarship here doesn't go back. And what's even worse is that your children have dual nationality. I get it, they are Gabonese, but they're also Americans. So if Gabon doesn't do its part, America does its part. Why do you want to have two scholarships for the same child?
This is what the president say, So the president say, he knows when you go to America, you don't return. So let's just send you to Ghana, Morocco and stuff, then you're going to return. Why? Because maybe Africans don't like each other. I don't know. Or maybe Africans don't value themselves enough. You just think that it's better somewhere else, not in Africa, okay? And I also think it's a good thing. Congratulations to Mr. President. Do you agree with me? I agree with him. I think this is a beautiful opportunity to get Gabon, to get things going. Not just Gabon, as well as many other African countries. I mean, when Senegal, Ghana, and Morocco know that Gabonese students are coming to study, they're going to put in the work to better their university. They're going to put in the work to better their facilities. They're going to make sure the quality is the highest level. Why? Because they're expecting visitors. And they know these visitors are probably going to judge the functioning of their institutions. Let me put it this way for you, brother. If you don't know now, you're going to know. Many African presidents still fly to Europe or America for medical treatment. Do you know that? How much does it cost to get a beautiful, very nice hospital that's organized? How much does it cost to get decent doctors and physicians and professionals and specialists? They could invest that. It's not the money that's lacking. It's because, unfortunately, the money is redirected to things that are absolutely stupid, has no sense for the nation, or perhaps for private needs and and selfish desires. African presidents from many countries go die in Europe, in hospitals in Switzerland, in France. Look at this guy. This is Mobutu back in time. Yeah, this is just before he passed. He went somewhere in Europe to go get treated because he didn't invest in his own country. I mean, if you as a president have to travel to a foreign nation to get treated, what about your own people? I mean, same for Zambia, same for, it's crazy. There are many countries in Africa, unfortunately. And I think sometimes, maybe Europe should sometimes say, no, guy, you're not coming here for treatment, better your infrastructure. Maybe better, like South African tells Zimbabweans, you're not coming to our hospitals. Go back to South Africa, Zimbabwe, and ask your president to fix your hospitals. I mean, it sounds harsh. When you listen to it, you go like, this is like xenophobia, this is not good and stuff like that. But at the bottom of it, if you look into it, you understand understand that it is an option. It's a very extreme option, but it is an option. Out of pride as a president, you say, okay, my people cannot go to a foreign land being kicked out of hospital. Let me try to fix my hospital. I know it's maybe a little bit beyond the president, but I'm sure they can do something about it. Very slowly, that could be the motor putting them to the right road. Maybe they should say to African presidents, don't go to Europe or other country to go get treated. Stay in your country. Don't come, stay in your country. That will force these presidents to invest in their own countries. There are presidents in Africa where their village, where they come from, does not have one single hospital. You're the president of the country, but your village does not have a decent hospital. And you want people to respect you. Look, this president is a soldier. How did he get in power? He got in power through coup d'etat. He used to be a bodyguard or the chief of the guards of the president. This president right here, his name is Omar Bongo. Okay, Omar Bongo stayed in power for many, many years. Talk about 42 years in power. Yes. And he was succeeded after he passed by his son, this guy here, Ali Bongo. You see the picture of Oligi with the president back in time? Yeah, he had ambitions. He knew, let me just stay here long enough. When my time comes, I'm going to be the president. Well, that's what happened. Okay? What happened was this president passed, then his son took power. But look at the son, look at the state of the son. This is the son, very, very sick in France. The president, Ali Bongo, very, very extremely sick. I think he had a heart attack or something, or cardiovascular accident or whatever you call it in your terms. Now, he wasn't himself anymore. Look how he's talking. Look how he's walking with Emmanuel Macron. The guy is falling over, but did not want to leave power. His father stayed in power for 42 years. So it's basically a transformation, transforming the country into a kingdom. Literally, you know what I mean? And eventually, this guy said, no, we cannot continue this way because this guy keep winning elections because they were expecting him to lose election. He won the election. People said, no. We don't think Gabonese voted you, so we're taking over. So the army took over. Now, Oligi has done some good things, in the past. As soon as he got into power, he asked government people to come together. And he told them, listen, here, it's not where you're going to get rich. You're not getting rich within this government. Absolutely not with me, okay? Your salaries are going down. He was very straight, like a military, like a real soldier. Your salaries are going down. So for context, African politicians will eat. They don't give a continental about the people. They will lie to you here and there during elections so you can vote for them. As soon as they get into power, they don't give a F about you. Okay? They will get money that was voted. They will vote a law to, get money, get funding to build an hospital. As soon as the funding comes, they start sharing it. You take your part, that's it. You will not see the hospital. They talk about roads, they talk about schools, they talk about facilities, they talk about airport. You don't see these constructions. The money is allocated, they eat it, they build buildings, they marry many wives. That's what Africa in general is for you right now. To the exception of maybe one or two countries where you don't see such things. I mean, to the exception of Rwanda, for instance, where, in Rwanda, corruption, you're going to go to jail for 20 years, for sure. Nobody's taking you out of there. And I think that's something that functioned, because if you look at China, brothers, China after World War II was as poor as African countries and poorer than many African nations. Look at them today. There's one thing that destroys our countries: corruption and the excessive love of money. Unbelievable. In China, if you are corrupt, if you are caught into stories, you are unalive, you're gone. You're dead. I'm sorry. Sorry for your family. And people think about that. They go like, let me think twice before I steal money that's been allocated for hospitals, because I'm going to be unalive. In Africa, there's no such thing. You can steal as much as you want. Even if they bring you to court, your colleagues will make sure you slip out. They don't catch you. So they protect one another. Now, Oligi came into power and said, we're going to cut your salaries. If you don't want, you leave.
Des salaires et des avantages à la baisse. Celui qui n'est pas content.
Oligi did some good things already. He said, you reduce your salaries. There's no more rich politician. That's it. Number two, he said, our contract with the European Union, which links us to Europe. I mean, Gabon is a contract, an agreement with the European Union, where the Europeans' ships could go to Gabon's waters and get fish, fishery and stuff. But in return, Europe promised to build infrastructure in the port of Gabon and create jobs. But unfortunately, Europe did not create the thing they promised to do. But they were fishing, taking stuff from the maritime of Gabon. They promised to build a refrigerator, industrial refrigerator, to keep the fish and stuff, to train the people in Gabon. They promised to create jobs where you get the fish from the water, you process it in Gabon, then you sell overseas. You get the fish from the water, process it in Gabon, sell overseas. Now, they didn't do that. They got the fish. They went to Europe, creating jobs in Europe, while Gabonese people are still there, but they're using the waters. So no training as promised to the Gabonese, no infrastructure building as they promised to the Gabonese. This man came to power and said, dude, I'm sorry, but we're cancelling this. It ain't happening. Not in my view. Not under my watch. Sorry about that. He came into power. France didn't make a lot of noise, as opposed to Burkina Faso and Mali, where France made a lot of noise saying this is illegal and stuff like that. Well, France and other countries did not make a lot of noise because maybe Oligui has a good relationship with France, the same way he is with Donald Trump. You see him here wearing MAGA hat. So he's not necessarily like Ibrahim Traoré and Keïta of Mali. He's different. He's got a good relationship with France and the US, but in some ways, he looks to be pushing people to the right direction when it comes to, your salary needs to be managed. When it comes as a politician, you can't be rich while people are suffering. When it comes to let's build a power plant for the country because country is struggling with electricity. In terms of these Gabonese not go to these countries anymore so they can flee. I mean, why are you going to America so you can stay forever? If you want to go to America and stay forever, sell your house or your mother's house and go to America. Don't use the government facilities and money for you to go forever, because we need people, if we invest in you, to go acquire the knowledge, then come and apply it back to the country. If you're not willing to do that, you can go. Fellas, I know we were supposed to talk about the Congolese guy. The diplomat that was arrested. Please follow the next video. I think we've reached our cap. Thank you very much for coming here. You are very much appreciated. You know that this is home. Please click on the button, subscribe, so we can see each other every single day. We come back every single day. I know some of you come 2-3 times a day, and I appreciate that. Okay, please drop your comments. This is not a monologue. We want to hear from you. We want you to speak out so we can learn from one another. You can be assured this is a safe environment. There's no insult, no provocations, no bullying around you. God bless.